What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming at you guys today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals visiting the Detroit Lions at Ford Field, the Week 15 matchup. Here is the preview. Cardinals coming in at 10-3, Lions at 1-11-1. Detroit Lions are trying to play spoilers here right now. The Cardinals pretty much made the playoffs, but they need one more victory to clinch a playoff spot. Not the division just yet. It's pretty tight there in that NFC West. So they need one more victory, and they're great on the road. They're 7-0 on the road. They don't lose. They're just a better ball club, the Arizona Cardinals. So they win one more. They clinch at least the playoff spot, and then they win another one. They can, I think they're the first team in history to go 9-0 on the road. I think. Well, not the first time. I think the second team. I think the Bears did it way back in the 40s. So the Cardinals offense we'll talk about. Not really going to get into the injury report fully. I will talk about it as I go on with this preview. The Cardinals offense, top 10 offense pretty much on all levels. For the most part, they don't run the ball at a top 10 level, but they're like 12th in rushing yards, and they score a lot of points on the ground as well too. They are 10th in passing yards at 252.2 yards an average a game, 8th in total yards at 394.5 a game, 12th in rushing yards, 122.5 a game, 4th in points, score a lot of points, 28.2 to be exact a game, and then they're 6th in the NFL at third down conversion rate. That puts them at 44%, so they're very good when it's third down, converting that into a first down. Cardinals defense, we'll get into that real quick too. 4th in total yards against, 337.6. 4th in passing yards, 209.8. 15th in rushing yards. You can rush on them a little bit, even though it's still a pretty good rushing defense. You know, a little bit better than average. The middle of the pack there at 111.8 yards per game against. They're 4th in points against. They don't let anybody score on them. 19.5 points a game, and they stop teams almost at a really good clip. They're 4th in third down conversion against. Only 34.6 against them are getting that first down on third down. So they're good defense all around. You can run on them a bit, but they are a tough defense. Now to the Lions offense. You guys know about our offense. It's not a very good offense. It's actually kind of sad. Running game is getting better, though, and we'll talk about them a little bit. They're 25th in total yards, 332.4. 27th in passing yards, 200.8. 17th in rushing the ball, so at 110.5 yards per clip. So, you know, they're getting better rushing the football. At least that's one aspect that we can look at in a positive way. 30th in points. They only score 16.4 points a game, which is not good at all. And then they're dead last, 32nd in the league in converting third downs into first downs at a 31.9% percentage there. So not good converting third downs into first downs. Just can't do it. Then the Lions defense, they're 28th in the league total yards, 390.9, 17th in passing yards at 244 yards. They're 28th in the league at rushing yards against, 135.2, 28th in points against, 27.2 yards, and then they're 29th and stopping third downs, converting into first downs at a bad 43.9%. So they have some problems all over the board. Passing yards against is, middle of the pack, a little bit worse. So it's one thing to look at too. Again, that's a little bit of a positive. The secondary's been making some plays, even though they've been getting gashed a lot through the air, through the ground. But at least the passing is something to look on in a positive light. Now on to the Cardinals studs. Quarterback Kyler Murray, he was talked about being as the MVP for the first 6-7 weeks of football. Got hurt, missed 3 or 4 games. Don't really talk about it much anymore. But he's running the football more. The last 2 games that he's been back, he's running the ball more. He was getting in the end zone earlier in the year, but now he's running the football more. He's got some injuries going on in the wide receiving room and in his tight end room. Now they got running back James Conner, the guy that came over for the Steelers, man. Got about over 600 yards rushing. Got 16 overall touchdowns. He's just a touchdown machine. 16 through 14 through the ground, 2 in the air. Not really your typical 3-down back. but when Chase Edmonds, their other running back, their number 2, got hurt, he was mainly the receiving back. He stepped up and started catching the ball more the last 3-4 weeks. Now that Chase Edmonds is back, his role will be reverted back to pretty much that pass catching running back who's got some nice wiggle to him and doesn't score a ton of touchdowns, but he's got some good hands and runs some nice routes for a running back. And he's back this week too, so fire him up in fantasy maybe. We'll see, but fire up James Conner, that's for sure. Now they got a pretty deep wide receiver room. They got wide receiver Christian Kirk, another young wide receiver. They got the aging veteran AJ Green, who can get the job done still, kind of been rejuvenated since his Cincinnati days. And they got a guy named Antoine Wesley who's stepping up. Got some juice to him because their leading guy, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, out for the year, done. Doesn't look like he's going to be playing at all this year, even in postseason. He's done. Then they got tight end Zach Ertz, questionable right now with a hamstring. If he doesn't go, they got Demetrius Harris and a kid named Darrell Daniels that haven't done anything at all this year. They got Max Williams, who was hurt, but he's on IR. So they had to make a trade for Zach Ertz, and that's what they did with Philadelphia a few weeks back, about a month and a half, 2 months back. So Zach Ertz is their guy, and but he's a little bit banged up, so we'll see what happens there. Now the Cardinals D, they got a couple good linebackers, Jordan Hicks and Isaiah Simmons. Guys, I loved Isaiah Simmons coming out of college a couple years back. I wanted the Lions to draft him if we didn't take Chase Young. Chase Young went number 2. We took Jeff Okudah at number 3. Simmons was still on the board, went a few picks later to the Arizona Cardinals. I think eighth overall, off the top of my head. Don't really remember, 7th or 8th or something along that. Then they got a couple sack machines and Chandler Jones, and they got a guy named Marcus Golden who can get to the quarterback. Chandler Jones, I think he's got 9.5, 10 sacks this year. Started off real hot with five sacks at the beginning of the year. Kind of fell off a bit, been getting to the quarterback the last 4 weeks. Racking up those sacks. So he'll be in double-digit sacks in no time. And then Marcus Golden, like I said, he can get to the quarterback as well. They got a guy named defensive tackle Zach Allen, one of those try-hard guys. Has 3 sacks from the defensive tackle position, and he's just a pretty solid player. Then they got a good safety duo in Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker. Budda Baker being one of the best safeties in the league, I think, today. Then cornerback rounds it off. Byron Murphy's got about 3-4 interceptions. And then Marco Wilson is usually their number 2. Then they got kicker Matt Prater, who was with the Lions for a few years, kicking some big kicks for us. He's kicked some big kicks for Arizona this year too, and he's still got that big leg, and I'm sure he's going to come back to haunt us somehow. Now the Lions, we got some studs that are hurt. DeAndre Swift out. TJ Hawkinson done for the year. Looks like Swift will probably be shut down soon as well. Jamal Williams hasn't been taken off the COVID list, and that leaves Godwin Gabuke, the rookie Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State, and Craig Reynolds from the practice squad, who had a really nice game against the Broncos last week out of nowhere. Had like 80-something yards, 83 yards, rushing on the ground, couple catches. It seems like Jamar Jefferson's going to get more of the looks, I think, from what it sounds like, from Deuce Staley. Going to get some more playing time. Last week he didn't get much because he was coming off the flu, and he had an ankle thing going on as well too. So it sounds like it's going to be Jamar Jefferson, but I think Craig Reynolds has earned a spot in toting this rock. So we'll see. And the wide receiver room is messed up. We got some guys that are banged up too. Josh Reynolds playing hurt, if he even plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown's healthy. Has played great the last 2 weeks. Ton of targets, ton of catches. Got in the end zone. Just looking good out there. Very comfortable. Looks like Jared Goff has found himself at least one guy out there besides Hawkinson and Swift that are making plays. So I really like what St. Brown's done, especially the last 2 weeks. He's got like 50-something catches, I want to say. I want to guess kind of. It's kind of more of a guess. And really nice to see the fourth round guy coming through for the Detroit Lions. Now Hawkinson, like I said, out. So that leaves Brock Wright. And they called up Shane Zylstra again, who got a few looks last week against the Broncos. Even got a look in the end zone at one point, but I think that's when Goff threw his pick. So look for Shane Zylstra. I did a video on him months back. Guy I really like coming out for the Lions to pick up. They plucked him off the Minnesota Vikings practice squad. He was a great wide receiver in college. Put up tremendous big numbers. Not in a big school though. But he's got a lot of talent. He's got his brother who's played in the CFL. His brother is with the Panthers now, I believe. Who's a special teams guy, kick returner, punt returner, and he's got a couple balls himself as well. So Shane had a couple catches last week. Let's see what he can do this week. Lions defense, Anzalone and Jalen Reeves may have been banged up too. Don't know what their playing time is going to be like as well. Derek Barnes and Josh Woods needs to step up in this game. Woods has been playing well the last couple weeks, coming in for injured guys. So they get 13 tackles last week against the Broncos. So let's see what he can do this week. He needs to step up. No Julian Okwara, got an ankle. He's going to be out. Charles Harris, 6 sacks on the year. Probably the best season he's had as a professional. He's a former first-round pick. Didn't do much with the Dolphins. Didn't do much with Atlanta. I know Atlanta fans were kind of upset that we got him this year. But at least he's got some sacks to his name. Having a better year. Let's see what he does. Now, we need guys like Michael Brockers, Levi Muzarike, Ali McNeil, Austin Bryant to step up and make some plays here. Tough task against a really good offense. Need some big games again from Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and Amani Oruwariye. I was asking a lot from Will Harris. Amani Oruwariye's made some plays for us. Obviously, you guys know. He's gotten burned quite a bit this year, but at least he's making some plays, doing some things out there. So we do like that. Losing Jerry Jacobs actually hurt him. Got hurt last week, done for the year. Will Harris bent his knee back trying to make a tackle, trying to make a gang tackle, and he took his knee right out. Knee shouldn't bend like that, and he's done for the year. Hopefully Jerry Jacobs comes back strong. AJ Parker should step in as that number 2. I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what's going on with Melifonwu, our 3rd-round pick out of Syracuse. I know he was on COVID. He got activated. Didn't play, I don't think, much last week, if at all. Don't remember really. I think he's practiced all week. He might have been limited, trying to get that energy back up, trying to just get back into the swing of things. He should be the number 2 if he's healthy. So I'd like to see Melifonwu in there. We did sign a guy named Brady Breeze. Don't know what's going to be going on with. I signed a few guys. Chris Williamson. We signed a few cornerbacks, a couple like a safety. We're all banged up. We're just banged up. COVID, injuries, everything's happening right now. So we signed a couple of guys, and then our kicker Riley Patterson, who's kicked the ball really well for the Detroit Lions. Not even upset about Riley Patterson. Looks like we might have found a kicker. I think Austin Siebert can go now. But he's been hurt, so maybe there'll be a kicking battle next year. We'll get into that later. But this is going to be a tough game for the Detroit Lions. This is a tough game. This is a really good offense in Arizona coming here. Great running attack. They don't put up a ton of yards running the football. Still 12th. I think Connor's got over about 600, so it's not bad. He has a chance to get to 1,000. Should have a big game against the Lions. Lions can't stop the run. They're limited, Arizona, a little bit with the receiving game with DeAndre Hopkins being out, but they got some good ones in Kirk and AJ Green, like I said, and Kyler Murray he likes to play that backyard football a little bit, maybe a little bit too much sometimes, I would say. If I was coaching a kid, I'd having a heart attack sometimes, but he's such a playmaker. He's so good at what he does. He's quick. He's super fast. Gets to the edges. Once he gets to the edge, you can't stop him. Makes guys look silly out there. So you got to contain him inside somehow. Nobody has really been able to do it so far early in his career. And it seems like he's running the football more since he's come back from that injury. So they're going to be tough to beat. And we're going to be, and our offense is going to have a tough time against that defense. They got guys that can get to the quarterback. Their linebackers aren't phenomenal, but they're quick. Jordan Hicks is solid. Isaiah Simmons is pretty solid. Hasn't been the greatest Isaiah Simmons, like I thought he was, but he's played a little bit better here and there. I think he could be better for how high he was picked, but I did like him coming out. Their secondary is pretty solid. They're just a good overall team. From top to bottom, they do everything well. They score on defense too. I think they're 4th in the league in scoring against. So they do everything well. They do everything well as a team, offensively, defensively. So this is going to be a tough game. Good luck, Detroit Lions. I hope you can at least make this close. I don't think it's going to be a close game. My predictions this year have been, I've made predictions on games right, but scores have been pretty much off on more than a few, and that's okay. I think this is going to be a drumming. I think this is going to be a beatdown. I'm predicting 41-12. I don't see how we're going to score on that defense. They don't give up a lot of points. They give up 19 points a game. That's top 5 in the league, and they score. And they're a top 5 scoring team. offensively. So it's going to be tough. I don't think they're going to score, and I think Arizona's going to score it well. I think they're going to run the football down our throats. And then guys like Christian Kirk and AJ Green are probably going to have days, maybe early, and then they're just going to run the ball. So it's going to be tough. I just hope we can keep it closer than I'd like. I'd like it to be close, but I can't see it. But that's the video, guys. 41-12 Cardinals. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my vids. And don't forget to like and comment. It's all about the likes and the comments. Go Lions. Let's go. Let's keep it close, guys. Boom.